One of the big issues ACT campaigned on was its policy for a referendum on the principles of Te Tiriti o Waitangi. National has said a referendum would be divisive and unhelpful and that it wouldn't be part of coalition negotiations, but anything is possible. So, how do ACT's proposed treaty principles differ and what effect could a rewrite have? Lady Tureiti Moxon is a lawyer and Māori health advocate who also chairs the National Urban Māori Authority. Tēnā koe.
Tēnā koe.
Thanks for your time this morning. Let's just go through ACT's proposed principles with you and see what you think. Or number one, all citizens of New Zealand have the same political rights. All political authority comes from people with a democratic means, including universal suffrage. And New Zealand is a multi-ethnic liberal democracy where discrimination based on ethnicity is illegal. How widely do these proposed principles differ from the sort of existing interpretation?
Well, right now we have three, what they call the 3 Ps.
Yep.
And that's partnership, participation and protection. And those are the principles that came out of the lands claim in 1987.
So they've been developed a long time
That's
ago.
right.
Yeah.
And since then, we've had the Y2575 claim, the Hauora claim, and they added some more to that, which was equity, options, and the guarantee of rangatiratanga.
Right, so are any of those mentioned or covered by what ACT is proposing?
No, not at all.
None whatsoever.
Not
what
at
about
all.
participation? I mean, they are saying that everybody has democratic means to take part. That is participation, but does that not reassure you?
Well, in actual fact, a lot of the policies and the acts that we've had and legislation we've had in this country has actually been very detrimental to Māori, and it has always supported the status quo. And what we're saying here is, for the first time in the history of our country, we are saying very clearly to everyone that we have a treaty partnership here in Aotearoa, and we need to be bringing everybody together to see what's the best way forward for us all.
So I guess what ACT has been trying to do is, because these treaty interpretations have been evolving under law, since you mentioned, since the lands case, but would not defining these principles, whether they're ACTs or not, give more clarity for when they are applied?
Well, it's Parliament who create the laws. It is their courts who interpret the laws, and it's the police who enforce the laws. So, what do we need here? We have a Waitangi tribunal who have a jurisdiction to hear breaches of Te Tiriti o Waitangi, and we've had that going on since 1975. And what we need here in Aotearoa isn't a referendum or a whole group of people who don't understand what Te Tiriti jurisprudence means. We need to be listening to the experts who within the treaty. We need to be listening to the experts within our court system.
Sure. Okay, so I understand that. I understand that you believe that the jurisprudence, the judicial system and the process has been defining them over time. Dame Anne Salmon, who's written extensively on this, says that ACT's proposal is unfair and corrosive, but she does say that there is room for an inquiry into recent interpretation of the treaty. Do you see any merit in that? Well,
what I see is that Māori have to be at the table when they discuss this, when they work through what that means. And certainly the Waitangi Tribunal, who are the experts in this, need to be at the table. And certainly we've had the Ellis case, which demonstrated very clearly that tikanga was a very important part of our laws in our country, and in particularly in terms of Te Tiriti.
So do you fear that this referendum could sort of rip us down the middle? I mean, that's what Helen Clark has said. Do you have concerns about this referendum if it were to come into force?
Well, I don't think it's necessary.
Okay.
I think we've got enough expertise and enough knowledge in our country to work together to bring about the kinds of things that are required and needed for both partners.
Right.
This is a partnership, remember, under Te Tiriti o Waitangi.
Well, this interpretation doesn't mention partnership at all. And it may be in the actions as well of the incoming government, because they are, in terms of the health area, one that you've advocated for a lot, planning to scrap Te Aka Whai Ora, the Māori Health Authority. So that partnership may disappear under this government.
Well, history repeats itself over and over again. And what we've seen from different governments over time, they use Te Tiriti as a political football. They use Māori or race-based policies as a political football to actually to whakamana themselves, to create a division in the society that is totally unnecessary.
So, what do you fear about the fact that, Te Aka Whai Ora may be scrapped? What's that going to do for,
we've been,
Māori health outcomes?
Well, we've been working on that since 2008 to change the way that health system has been responding to Māori, particularly given that we're the poorest of all the groups of ethnicities in this country. We are the sickest in this country, and we are the ones who are the least educated, and it goes on and on and on.
So nobody disputes those stats, but the way to make them even or equal or equitable is the way forward. And I guess that, are you concerned that this idea about equality doesn't actually mean equity in terms of outcomes?
Well, no, it doesn't.
That's where they're going to go back to.
Yeah, because you see, what they're saying is that we're all equal. We're all on the same playing field. We all have the same opportunities. Well, we know that's not true.
Right.
And the inequities in this country are stifling. The racism in our country is stifling, and it continues and it never ever stops.
So if you had one quick chance to give a message to those three men around the coalition negotiation table, what would it be?
Māori need to be at the table because we are a partner under Te Tiriti o Waitangi. And that's what we are, and that's what we'll always be. And the Treaty of Waitangi, as the foundation document of this country, means and is the reason why we are here together in Aotearoa.
Lady Tureiti Moxon, thank you so much for your time. Tēnā koe.
Kia ora.